Melania Trump is a Slovenian and American former model serving as the First Lady of the United States since 2025 as the wife of President Donald Trump, a role she previously held from 2017 to 2021. Born April 26, 1970. Age 54 years. Novo Mesto, Slovenia. Spouse Donald Trump, M. 2005. Children Baron Trump. Height 1.8 meters. Books Melania. Nationality American, Slovenian, Yugoslavian. Parents Amelija Novs, Victor Novs. Melania Trump, net worth $50 million. Early life and education. Melania Novs was born in Novo Mesto, Yugoslavia, now part of present-day Slovenia, on April 26, 1970. Her father Victor Novs first worked as a chauffeur, and he eventually sold car parts for a state-owned vehicle manufacturer as he made connections with the League of Communists of Yugoslavia, the National Communist Party. Her mother Amelija worked as a pattern maker at the children's clothing manufacturer Jutranjka in Sevnica. In Sevnica, the family lived in the state-run housing complex Naselj Hiroja Maroka. She has an older sister, Ines, and an older half-brother from her father's previous relationship, Denis Seigeljak, whom she reportedly has never met. Her father denied paternity of Denis, even after it was confirmed by a paternity test. Although Melanija's father was a member of Yugoslavia's Communist Party, which espoused a policy of state atheism, he had his daughters secretly baptized as Roman Catholic, as was common. The family was well-off relative to most who lived in communist societies. They frequently went on vacations to other parts of Europe. Their apartment was atypically decorated with brightly colored walls. As a child, Melanija, like other children of workers at the factory, participated in fashion shows that featured children's clothing. Textiles were Sevnica's primary industry. Students were excused from school to participate in the shows. From a young age, Melanija expressed an interest in fashion, and she began customizing and sewing her own clothes. She developed a skill for it by watching her mother work. Melanija did well in school, where she was appointed school treasurer. When Melanija was a teenager, she moved to a two-story house in Sevnica with her family. From her youth in Slovenia, Melanija was influenced by the United States. She described the presidency of Ronald Reagan as the beginning of a new era in her own country, and the debut of CNN International in 1985 gave her family access to American media. Of particular interest to Melanija was the new exposure to global fashion. At the age of 15, she began attending the secondary school for design and photography in Ljubljana, making the long commute from her hometown to the capital and back each day by train. After her first year, she and Ines moved to the capital together in an apartment paid for by their father. After graduating at age 19, Melanija enrolled in the Faculty of Architecture and Civil and Geodetic Engineering at the University of Ljubljana to further study design, leaving after a few months without finishing her degree. Early modeling career. European career. Melania was discovered by Slovenian fashion photographer Stane Jurko when she was 16, after modeling in a school-sponsored show. At the time, she had wanted to be a fashion designer rather than a model. Melania won a modeling contest with the Italian studio Cinecittà that entitled her to a movie role, but she rejected the prize after a producer sexually propositioned her. As her modeling career progressed, Melania took on an alternate spelling of her name, Melania Naus. She traveled Europe to find modeling work. Except for a few close relatives, she did not maintain contact with anyone she knew in Slovenia. In 1992, Melania was named runner-up in the Jana magazine Look of the Year contest, which promised its top 3 contestants an international modeling contract. She signed with RVR Reklam in Milan, but she left the organization a few months later. Melania spent the following years traveling Europe for modeling jobs, including one in which she portrayed the first female president of the United States in 1993. Around age 23 or 24, she made Paris her primary residence, where she lived with her roommate Victoria Silvstedt. Melania modeled for fashion houses in Paris and Milan, where in 1995 she met Metropolitan Models co-owner Paolo Zampalli, who was on a scouting trip in Europe. Zampalli, a friend of her future husband Donald Trump, became one of the few people who was involved in Melania's life for a long time.